Wasabi, wasabi, and wasabi once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Today, I'm back with Spice of the Day, the one and only wasabi. So maybe you think wasabi is too hot, maybe too spicy. Maybe you only eat it with sushi. Maybe, just maybe, you avoid it like the plague. Well, whatever the case may be, please listen and watch on. Why? Because we're about to dive just a little deeper into the wonderful world of wasabi. So, a very, very popular question is, Coach D, what in the world is wasabi? So guys, here we go. A little bit of background information. 23% Nation, true wasabi comes from the root-like stem or rhizome of the wasabi plant. That's right. Now, for those of us who have never ever seen a wasabi plant before, guys, take a look at the picture. As you can see, it has leaves. It has a root-like stem, which is known as the rhizome. It's a relative to plants like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, horseradish, and mustard greens. Interesting. A little bit of more background information. Wasabi is generally cultivated in Japan, of all places, and it's sometimes referred to as Japanese horseradish. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever go to Japan and you're looking for wasabi, don't be surprised if you only see Japanese horseradish on the menu. That's right. It has an extremely strong and stimulating flavor that's accompanied by a burning sensation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to find out a little more about this burning sensation. The pungent constituents of wasabi come from allele isothiocyanate, which is known as mustard oil and derived from cruciferous vegetables. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are at all interested in knowing what the chemical structure of allele isothiocyanate looks like, well, just take a look at the picture. We now know that this particular chemical compound is responsible for wasabi's spicy attitude. So there we have it, guys. A little more background information about the one and only wasabi. Now it's time for a few fun facts. Actually, today I'm going to hit you up with a lot of fun facts. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The wasabi plant grows naturally along stream beds in the mountain valleys of Japan. Take a look at the picture. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Growing wasabi is difficult, which is why real wasabi is hard to come by in restaurants. That's right, guys, the real stuff, right? Wild wasabi only thrives in certain areas of Japan, but farmers in other locations, including the U.S., have made an effort to create the perfect environmental conditions for the plant. That's right. So guys, we now know exactly where the real wasabi actually comes from. All right, more fun facts. Now, a lot of people may ask this question. So how do you know if you have real wasabi? Well, let's discuss it. Of course, you can do a little research and ask if you're trying to seek a true wasabi menu. True wasabi is known as sawa wasabi, and it's usually treated as a delicacy. It also tastes more herbal than horseradish, and while it's hot, it doesn't have the lingering, burning aftertaste that you may be used to with the imposter. It tastes smoother, cleaner, fresher, and more plant-like or earthy than horseradish. That's right, guys. So now, when you go to your local Japanese restaurant, or maybe the next time you're sitting down with a big plate of sushi, okay, you should be able to determine whether or not you're eating real wasabi or if you're eating an imposter. So there we have it. Fun facts about the one and only wasabi. More fun facts. A lot of people ask this question, Coach D, why do we eat wasabi with sushi? Now, to be honest, this is a question that I have asked once or twice. So let's find out why. It's meant to accentuate the delicate taste of fish. That's right, guys. The taste of real wasabi enhances the taste of sushi, while some argue that the taste of fake wasabi is actually too strong for delicate fish and overpowers sushi. You wouldn't get that my mouth is on fire feeling from the real thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now know how to determine if we're eating fake or real wasabi. So, the fake stuff is going to set your mouth on fire for an extended period of time, right? The taste is going to be a little different, right? But the real stuff, okay, is yes, it may feel like you're burning a little bit, but it won't last long. And remember, the taste is going to be on the earthy side, okay? So the next time you're eating sushi or sashimi, okay, and you're enjoying wasabi with it, then make sure that your mouth isn't on fire for an extended period of time. That way you know you're eating the fake stuff, okay? So there we have it, guys. Fun facts about the one and only wasabi. More fun facts. Now let's talk about how to buy and how to use wasabi. This Asian superfood can be found with a little effort, but it can be pricey. Guys, let's talk about that momentarily. Well, actually, let's talk about it right now. Take a look at this picture. As you can see, the real stuff, right? It is quite pricey. I did a little bit of research and look at this. 1 pound is $169.99. So it's $170, almost $200 per pound. That's right. So now think about this. If the real stuff is almost $200 per pound, how in the world can I be eating real wasabi in a Japanese sushi restaurant where my plate is only $10, right? So what does that tell you? It probably means that the majority of the wasabi that's served in the average sushi restaurant is not the real stuff. As a matter of fact, it's probably the fake stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in need of the real, authentic wasabi, be prepared to pay a pretty penny. You want to look for authentic Asian superfood certification mark on the label, since all products using this mark have been rigorously tested to ensure they're authentic. So there we have it, guys. More fun facts about the one and only wasabi. More fun facts. Real wasabi can be found as a root that can be grated and made into a powder or a paste. Take a look at the picture. You can also make a wasabi sauce, which can be prepared in a variety of ways. It generally includes wasabi paste, lime juice, ginger, salt, and vinegar. The leaves of the wasabi plant can be eaten raw in salads, pickled, or even dried into chips similar to kale chips. That's right. So, guys, remember something. When it comes to wasabi, not only do we want to consume the rhizome, right? But we can also get a lot of nutrients from the greens, or we can say the leaves. So, ladies and gentlemen, more fun facts about the one and only wasabi. More fun facts. As far as the cost of wasabi, it varies depending on the season and the grower's proximity to the market, as well as the typical supply and demand. It does not travel very well, and if the grower isn't near the market, it sells to, and it can't be delivered to the end user within about 2 days, it deteriorates. Oh no, that's right, guys. So basically, wasabi has a very short shelf life. However, if you're nervous about how long wasabi lasts, if kept chilled and wrapped in a damp paper towel, its shelf life can go as far as 10 days or so. So, ladies and gentlemen, Basically, when it comes to wasabi, you have a very small window, 2 to 10 days. That's it. All right. So the next time you purchase the real stuff, whether it's $170 a pound or $200 a pound, be prepared to use it immediately. So there we have it. More fun facts about the one and only wasabi. Okay, more fun facts. Real wasabi must be hand harvested. And because most shops purchase small amounts at a time, the price gets driven upwards. That's right. The growth cycle is 18 months to 3 years, and the plant is very difficult to grow, yet another reason there is a high price on the real stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the picture, right? Now, I know that a lot of you are probably wondering, Coach D, is that you in the picture hand harvesting the real wasabi in a stream in Japan? Well, guys, as much as I would like to be this individual, no, it's not me. But I just want to let you know that the real wasabi, not only is it difficult to come by, not only is it expensive, but guys, it has to be hand harvested. That's right. No factory machines involved. So there we have it, guys. More fun facts about the one and only wasabi. Okay, more fun facts. When shopping for wasabi, you'll likely find the wasabi root or rhizome for sale. Once you find the real stuff, there are a few tips for preparing wasabi yourself. Fresh wasabi is grated to release its flavor, but first scrub it very gently. You can peel it before grating, but you don't have to. Using the finest holes on your grater, carefully grate wasabi and then crush it with the back of a knife and release even more flavor. Allow it to sit for about 5 minutes and then your wasabi paste is ready to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in making your own wasabi paste or powder, you may want to go out and get yourself a nice grater that looks similar to the one here in the picture, right? And also make sure you have a knife handy to release even more flavor from the wasabi. So there we have it. More fun facts about the one and only wasabi. All right, it's time for the not so fun facts. Just to reiterate, real wasabi and the look-alike versions made with horseradish usually give a rather intense burning effect in the nasal passages and can even cause the eyes to water. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is another way to know if you're eating the real or fake stuff, right? Think about how intense the burning sensation is, right? And do your eyes water? If you've never tried it, please start slowly, using only a little bit so you can have a better experience. If spicy foods cause problems for you, it may be best to avoid it altogether. Guys, this couldn't be more true. I remember the first time I tried wasabi with sushi, of course, and I gotta tell you, yes, the burning sensation was rather intense, and yes, my eyes did water, so maybe I ate too much, or maybe it was the fake stuff, right? Whatever the case may be, just use a little bit. So there we have it, the not so fun facts about the one and only wasabi. Okay, more not so fun facts. Here's a very popular question. So Coach D, what happens when you eat a lot of wasabi? Well, let's find out. Well, beyond experiencing the burning sensation in your nose and mouth, you may develop some gastrointestinal issues as well. This is because wasabi and other spicy foods stimulate the liver and gallbladder, causing side effects like diarrhea and nausea. That's right. So, if after you leave the sushi restaurant and you are experiencing diarrhea, maybe even nausea, okay, hopefully not both at the same time, then yes, chances are you ate too much wasabi in one sitting, of course. So there we have it, guys, the not so fun facts about the one and only wasabi. Okay, more not so fun facts. Did you know that wasabi may slow blood clotting in some people. So, if you're having surgery and want to reduce the risk of excessive bleeding, it's probably best to avoid eating it for at least 2 weeks beforehand. That's right, guys. So, here is the issue, is that sometimes when you receive an injury, right, maybe you fall, maybe you're trying to cook something and you cut yourself, okay? Step one is that there is an injury or there's some type of damage to one of your blood vessels, okay? The vessel contracts, the platelets plug up the cut or the scrape, and then fibrin actually makes the clot. But here's the problem. Wasabi slows down this process, okay? So for those of us who are in need of surgery, please put down the sushi, put down the wasabi until after the surgery is complete. And of course, after your body heals. So there we have it, the not so fun facts about the one and only wasabi. Okay, now it's time for us to dive into the 520 rule. Now, 23% Nation, I know that some of us have probably never ever heard of the 520 rule before. Well, guys, keep your ears open and let's discuss it right now. The 520 rule is all about food labels. Ultimately, it helps us to read and understand them. It's a guide. It's a guide that lets us know whether or not a food or beverage item is a good source or not a good source of any particular nutrient. Now, specifically when we talk about the 520 rule, we're talking about percent daily value, abbreviated percent DV. Now, let's take a look at our sample food label. As you can see, it is divided into 3 main parts: purple, yellow, and blue. So let's talk about each part individually. First, let's address the purple part, percent daily value, right? It's a column and it's basically represented as a percentage with a low end of 0% and a high end of 100%. Now, there are some very rare cases where a food item may exceed 100%, but that's very, very rare. Now, let's move over to the yellow portion. The yellow portion does a really good job at highlighting those nutrients which unfortunately do a really good job at promoting sickness, illness, and disease within the body temple. That's why it says limit these nutrients. So the next time you see saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium on any food label, you probably want to make sure that the percent DV is as close to 0% as possible. Now, moving on to the blue section. The blue section does a really good job at highlighting those nutrients which do just the opposite of the yellow nutrients. Rather than promote sickness, illness, and disease, these nutrients promote wellness and health within the body temple. That's why it says get enough of these nutrients. So the next time you eat or drink something, you probably want to make sure that the dietary fiber, the vitamin A, the vitamin C, the calcium, and the iron, you want to make sure that those percent DVs are as close to 100% as possible. Now, a lot of people may say, well, Coach D, I need a very simple way to understand the 520 rule. And other people may say, well, Coach D, I need a more specific way to understand the 520 rule. So whether you want general information or specific information, please listen up. For those of us who want general information, notice that it says quick guide to percent DV. 5% or less is low, 20% or more is high. Get it, got it, good. For those of us who want more specific information, such as myself, then here is what I want to offer to you today. If a food or beverage item offers 0% to 9% DV of any particular nutrient, then that food or beverage item is not a good source of that particular nutrient. Next, if a food or beverage item offers 10% to 19% DV, then that food or beverage item is considered a good source of that particular nutrient. And lastly, if a food or beverage item offers 20% DV or more, then that food or beverage item is considered an excellent source of that particular nutrient. So there we have it, guys. The ins and outs about the 520 rule. All right, now that we've covered the 520 rule, let's now dive into the nutrition facts of wasabi. For today's lecture, we're going to say that a single serving of wasabi is equal to 1 cup of raw wasabi root. Now, 1 cup is approximately 130 grams. So in this single serving, 1 cup, we're going to get the following: 142 calories, 30.6 grams of carbs, 6.2 grams of good old plant protein. Amazing. And you guys didn't think that plants contain protein, much less wasabi, right? Well, guys, here you go. Now, you got to remember something, that protein does a lot of good things for the body, especially when it comes from a plant, right? It's going to help strengthen your immune system. It's going to help grow your hair. It's going to help grow your fingernails and your toenails. And guess what? It also helps to build lean, mean muscle tissue. Next up, 0.1 grams of fat and an amazing 10.1 grams of dietary fiber. Now, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you are fully aware that I like to call fiber nature's plumber. Why? Because it keeps our tubes clean. Meaning, dietary fiber has the responsibility of keeping our arteries free of excess plaques and cholesterol. And guess what? It also keeps our GI tract, specifically your colon, or shall we say your large intestine, free of toxins and excess weight. That's why I call it nature's plumber. Moving on. Vitamin C comes in at 91% DV, excellent source. Manganese comes in at 25% DV, excellent source. Magnesium comes in at 22% DV, excellent source. Potassium comes in at 21% DV, excellent source. Vitamin B6 comes in at 18% DV, good source. Calcium, 17% DV, good source. Zinc, 14% DV, good source. Thiamine comes in at 11% DV, good source. Phosphorus comes in at 10% DV, good source. Copper comes in at 10% DV, good source. Riboflavin, 9% DV, not a good source. Iron, 7% DV, not a good source. Folate, 6% DV, not a good source. And lastly is niacin, coming in at only 5% DV, not a good source. So there we have it, guys, the nutrition facts about the one and only wasabi. Okay, now that we've gone over the 520 rule and the nutrition facts, it's now time for us to dive into the health benefits of wasabi. But before we do, I want to offer you this. 23% Nation, let's talk about the principle of cause and effect. Now, this law basically states that every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. There really is no such thing as chance and or luck. In other words, everything happens for a reason. I say that to say this, is that if you are healthy, then guess what? You caused it. On the other hand, if you have a disease, well, chances are you caused that too, unfortunately. So today, I not only want to give you the health benefit, which technically is the effect, but I also want to give you the cause, right? I want to let you know which phytonutrient is responsible. I want to let you know which medicine in wasabi delivers these health benefits. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, wasabi kills harmful foodborne bacteria. Now, what's the reason? What's the cause? Well, did you know that wasabi has antimicrobial properties? Huh, nice. health benefit number 2, prevents tooth decay. That's right. So for all of my people out there who suffer from cavities, right, you may be interested in the fact that wasabi contains isothiocyanate vapors. That's the cause. Health benefit number 3, combats cancer cells. So what's the phytonutrient? What's the cause? What's the medicine? Well, say hello to the isothiocyanates once again. Health benefit number 4, may help reduce pain caused by inflammation. That's right. So what's the cause? What's the phytonutrient? Well, the isothiocyanates are back. Health benefit number 5, improves gut health. Amazing. So what's the cause, right? Well, say hello to the fiber. And lastly, number 6, could be used as a smoke alarm, believe it or not, for those with hearing issues. Now, what's the cause? Well, wasabi extract vapor. So there we have it. 6 amazing health benefits from the one and only wasabi. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 23% Nation, it's time to talk about food, but in particular, plant foods. Now, normally our go-to website for everything vegan is forksoverknives.com, but for today, I thought I'd switch it up just a little bit. So I want to welcome you to a brand new website. It's called worldofwasabi.com, right? So I looked at the website, did a little bit of research, and I came across 2 vegan wasabi recipes that I want to share with you right now. So the first one is wasabi popcorn, perfect snack, right? And the second one is wasabi sesame dip. Take a look at the picture. Both look amazing. Now, if you are at all interested in making and tasting these dishes, all you have to do is click on the description box. Why? Because I'm providing you with a direct link to both recipes. Now, when you click on the link, you're going to find a lot of great information. Pictures, maybe a video, cooking instructions, and of course, an ingredient list. What more could you want, right? So do me a favor. Click on the description box, click on the link, make the dish, taste the dish, come back to the video and share your thoughts. So there we have it. Not 1, but 2 amazing vegan wasabi recipes from worldofwasabi.com. All right, 23% Nation, I hear you. A lot of you say, well, Coach D, thanks for the fun facts, thanks for the not so fun facts, and even the nutrition facts, right? But what I really want to know is, when should I eat more wasabi? Well, guys, if that's your question, then I got to tell you that the perfect day to eat more wasabi is Nature Day. What? Oh, yes, good old Nature Day. Guys, Nature Day happens to be the first day of the 23% challenge. That's right. Now, maybe you've been locked down under quarantine. Maybe you've been living under a rock. And so you don't know anything about the 23% challenge. As a matter of fact, you've never heard of it before. Well, guys, listen up. The 23% challenge is a monthly 7-day wellness program that is designed to help improve your health, your wealth, your relationships. Oh, and by the way, it also helps to save good old planet Earth. That's right, in only 7 days. Now, there are 2 things that we need to know about the challenge. Number 1, it's monthly, meaning every month, January through December. And number 2, it's only 7 days long. As a matter of fact, it's the first 7 days of every month, the 1st through the 7th. Now, understand this. Being that Nature Day is the first day of the challenge, and being that the challenge is the first 7 days of every month, that simply means that Nature Day is the first day of every month. That's right. So whether it's January 1st, February 1st, or April 1st, it's always Nature Day. Okay, 23% Nation. A lot of you are now wondering. You're now guessing. Coach D, what in the world is Nature Day all about? I want to know. So, here we go. Guys, Nature Day is all about eating more plants and, of course, drinking more water. Now, some of us may find that easy, others may find it very, very difficult. So, I want to address both types of people, those who find it easy and those who think it's hard. For those of us who think it's very hard, difficult, right? Try this. Try eating only plant foods and drinking only water before 12 p.m. That way, after 12 p.m., you can eat and drink whatever you want. Or if before 12 p.m. doesn't quite work for your schedule, then maybe after 12 p.m., right? That way, before 12 p.m., you can eat and drink whatever you want. Now, for those of us who think it's easy, right, to eat more plants and drink more water, I invite you to become a 3% vegan, a 10% vegan, a 17% vegan, or even a 23% vegan. So let's talk about them individually. First up is a 3% vegan. That's any person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only one day out of an entire month. Next up, a 10% vegan. Could be the same person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 3 days out of an entire month. Next up is a 17% vegan. That's any person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 5 days out of an entire month. And lastly is the ultimate 23% vegan. Now, technically, that's what Coach D considers himself to be, right? So what does that mean? It means that for the first 7 days of every single month, I only eat from the 5 food groups of plant foods, which happen to be fruits, vegetables, spices, and herbs. Number 3 would be legumes, meaning beans and peas. Number 4 would be nuts and seeds. And number 5 would be whole grains. That's it. And of course, I only drink good old water. So there we have it, guys. We now know exactly what Nature Day is all about. Next question. A lot of people may want to know, well, Coach D, is Nature Day for me? I mean, really? Should I participate in it? Should I go 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days of only eating plants and drinking water? Well, let's find out. So maybe you are suffering from the big 4, meaning heart disease, obesity, cancer, diabetes. Maybe you have skin issues, such as eczema, psoriasis, blackheads, pimples, whiteheads, right? Maybe you have digestive issues, such as diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut syndrome, right? Maybe Crohn's disease. Or maybe you have mental issues, such as depression. Maybe you're bipolar. Maybe you're pissed off and mad all the time, or maybe you're just sad all the time, right? And so maybe, just maybe, you're tired of the doctor's visits. You're tired of the medical procedures, the surgeries, the prescription medications. I get it. And so maybe, just maybe, you're looking for a natural, holistic approach to your healing. Well, guys, it's easy. Eat more plants. Or maybe you're the type of person who just simply wants to lose a little bit of body fat, right? Your waist is is expanding. Your hips are also expanding. You may want to try our vegan lean program. Or maybe you're the type of person who wants to add a little bit of lean, mean muscle tissue. You may want to try our vegan bulk program. Or maybe, just maybe, you're sick and tired of the standard American diet and you want to transition to a more whole food plant-based diet. Well, guys, it's easy. Nature Day is definitely for you. And all I have to say is eat more plants. So there we have it, guys. We now know exactly who Nature Day is for. All right. It's time for Coach D's tips. Why am I offering help? Why am I giving advice? It's easy because I want you to have a successful Nature Day. So first up, go to your local grocery store. Now, when you get there, you're going to go to one of 3 places, maybe 2 or maybe all 3. Number 1 is the produce section. Number 2 is the freezer aisle. Number 3 is the canned good aisle. Now, the reason why I'm advising you to go to these 3 places, well, this is where you're going to find your plant foods. That's right. Now, a lot of people may want to know, Coach D, what's best, fresh, frozen, or canned? Well, I'll address that question this way. Number one is fresh, number two is frozen, and number three, dead last, is canned. Now, why do I put canned plant foods dead last? It's because of this. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you put any food in a can, unfortunately, there are a lot of things that are going on, okay? A lot of processing. So what ends up happening is a lot of nutrients in the food are either destroyed or deactivated, and a lot of toxins are added, right? So when you eat food that comes out of a can, you may end up putting more toxins in your body than you do nutrients. Tip number two, go visit the prepared dishes section of your local grocery store. So after you're finished with the produce section, the freezer aisle, and the canned good aisle, walk on over to the prepared dishes section. Now, this is where you're going to find a very large glass see-through counter, right? You're going to see food prepared, and it's going to be sold by weight, and you'll see someone standing behind the counter ready to help you out. Now, go over there, check out their selection, ask the attendant if they offer any vegan or plant-based options. If they do, but you don't quite recognize it, you don't know what it is, you've never had it before, don't worry, don't fret, don't stress. Ask for a sample. It's free, $99. Now, if you like it, go ahead, get yourself maybe half a pound. Or if, let's say, you're having a dinner party, or maybe you're having people over for the game, then why not 2 pounds? Why not 3 pounds, 4 pounds, hell, 5 pounds? Tip number 3, go visit your local farmer's market. Now, the reason why I am advocating farmers markets is simply because they cater to the non-GMO organic plant food market. That's right. So if you're the type of person who has to have organic this and non-GMO that, I get it. So a farmer's market is definitely the place for you. Also, because the food is grown and delivered locally, believe it or not, the prices may be cheaper than the grocery store. That's right. So don't be surprised if you end up saving money when you shop at a farmer's market. Tip number 4, go visit and, of course, eat at your local vegan restaurant. Now, the reason why I suggest this is because vegan restaurants do a really good job at hiring vegan chefs who know exactly how to cook plant foods so that they retain the majority of their nutrients, but then they also know which plant foods to combine to yield the most nutritious, delicious dishes. So there you have it, guys. Go visit your local vegan restaurant. And tip number 5 is to get a subscription to a vegan meal prep company. Now, I highly recommend this for people who claim they don't know how to cook plant foods, or they don't have the time to cook plant foods, right? You don't know how, you don't have the time. I understand it. So I say, let somebody else do the cooking for you. So here's how it works. Give them a call, get the subscription. They make the food, they probably deliver the food, you eat the food. It's just that simple. So there we have it. 5 amazing tips to help keep your nature day successful. All right, it's time for our question of the day. This one comes from yours truly and the rest of the 23% nation. We have inquiring minds, so we want to know, wasabi originates from which Asian country? Now, I believe I gave the answer to this question earlier in the lecture, so hopefully you were listening. If you were, right, just simply write your answer in the comment box below. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D. Now, before I sign out, I gotta ask you to please subscribe, share, comment, and like the video, especially if you love wasabi. And don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's hashtag eat more plants. As stated earlier, my name is Coach D. I'm signing out. Always remember to take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.